oh, the parents are anti-vaxxers in the book. I don't remember that shit. Yeah. Some of these books just would not fly in this day and age. And this was only 10 years ago. So I'm here today to do a quick little kind of fun video that I was inspired to do because I was reading my old Goodreads reviews. And according to my Goodreads data, I've had my account for over 10 years, which means I probably opened my account in between 2012 and 2013, in which I was between 15 and 16 years old. And I have always been an avid reader. I've always read books. I've always loved going to the bookstore. I was the kid who my parents would be like, you know how some kids' parents don't want them to see the toy store? Well, mine was like, don't let her see the bookstore because we're going to have to spend money and buy books. The book selection where I grew up between Trinidad and Barbados, like in both countries, were not good. It was always the most popular books or not like the biggest selection of books. With that said, in this video, I'm going to go through the books that I read between the ages of 15 to 16, what I rated them, and what the average rating is, and what the top Goodreads reviews say about them. I think this could be fun. I think it could be funny. I just think that it's just kind of crazy to like look back at what you used to read and what your taste used to be. Okay, we're going. So the first book that I have on here is marked House of Night #1 series by PC Cast and Kirsten Cast. And let me just give you a synopsis of what Marked is about. After a vampire tracker marks her with a crescent moon on her forehead, 16-year-old Zoe Redbird enters the House of Night and learns that she is no average fledgling. She has been marked as special by the vampire goddess Nyx and has affinities for all 5 elements: air, fire, water, earth, and spirit. But she is not the only fledgling at the House of Night with special powers. When she discovers that the leader of the Dark Daughters, the school's most elite club, is misusing her goddess-given gifts, Zoe must look deep within herself for the courage to embrace her destiny with a little help from her new vampire friends. Would I read this book today? Hell fucking no. Would I read any vampire book today? No. So the rating that I gave Marked was 3 stars. I don't remember much about this book. I remember a little bit about like, the boarding school vibes, but like I don't know why I gave it 3 stars. Maybe I didn't love it that much, but maybe I was just being, you know, a little, I was not trying to give it 5 for some reason. Okay, so the top 3 to 4 ratings on this book gave it all 1 star. 1 star. The average rating though is 3.8 stars, and I feel like that's kind of high. And I even have some friends on here who read it 2 years ago and gave it 4 stars. So it can't be that bad. But let me read one review. How and why on earth did I read this nonsense when I was 13 years old? Seriously, how the hell did this series slip into a school library undetected? Racist tropes, homophobic slurs, cultural appropriation. Not like other girls trope, age gap romances between teens and adults, but it's fine because it's legal in vampire laws. The only credit I will give this series is that the tattoo idea and being chosen by a vampire is a pretty original idea. So I guess there's that. Plus the worship of Nyx, the elemental powers, and the fact that the sun doesn't kill only makes them uncomfortable. Unfortunate that some ideas are sprinkled in the absolute shitstorm of how the hell did this book get approved. You know, I just feel like that sums it up. What the hell was I reading at 16 years old? I can't say. Alright, Next book that I read, Twilight. Twilight, the saga, #1. We all know what Twilight is about. I'm not even going to read the synopsis. There's a girl in Forks, Washington. There's a vampire that sparkles in the sun in her school. She likes him. He's mysterious. But this boy who's a werewolf likes her. It's a love story. It's a love triangle with a bite. I gave Twilight at the time 3 stars, which is shocking because I was obsessed with this series. Like, I read Twilight like at least 5 times, and I'm not joking about that. I watched the movie like 10 times. I've watched all the films, read the entire series, like at least the other books in the series, at least read them twice. I read The Host, which is like the prequel, or I think it was Edward's, was The Host prequel? The Host is another book by the same author. I was a Twilight stan, as most teenage girls were back in the 2010s. So I'm just shocked that I gave Twilight 3 stars. Like, was I giving all books 3 stars? Like, I don't know. Maybe I was being conservative with my star ratings. It's very mixed because I feel like the average rating of Twilight on Goodreads, which is 6 million ratings, is 3.64, which honestly is fine. If I read Twilight as an adult at 26 years old, will I still think that it's a good book? Probably not. I don't remember much about the writing, but I feel like it just wouldn't hold up. All the reviews are like literally essays. I'm not going to read them, but you get the point. Like, people really love this book, and I think even the ones that have, like, it's just too long to read one of these reviews, but we all know how Twilight is. The Awakening by Kelly Armstrong. Darkest Powers #2. Did I read Darkest Powers #1? Who knows? Did I rate this 3 stars? You guessed it. This was published in 2009, and it says, if you had met me a few weeks ago, you'd probably have described me as an average teenage girl, someone normal. Now my life has changed forever, and I'm far away from normal as it gets. A living science experiment. Not only can I see ghosts, but I was genetically altered by a sinister organization called Edison Group. What does that mean? For starters, I'm a teenage necromancer whose powers are out of control. I raised the dead without even trying. Trust me, that is not a power you want to have, ever. Now I'm running for my life with 3 of my supernatural friends, a charming sorcerer, a cynical werewolf, and a disgruntled witch. And we have to find someone who can help us before the Edison Group finds us or die trying. Genuinely do not remember reading this book. I did give it 3 stars. It has 4.14 average star rating on Goodreads, which means I'm inclined to think it's not that bad of a book. Very rare, very little 1-star reviews on here. I think it probably may hold up well as a teenage type of book. Someone with a 1-star review about The Awakening says, forgot this book immediately after reading. Sad, considering I almost never forget things I read. This was bad. Just bad. Very disappointed. It seemed like it could have been interesting, but the lack of creativity and oomph just left me feeling really bad and I wasted my time with this book. Again, I believe in this review because even though I gave it 3 stars at the time, I can't tell you what this book is about. And I guess you can argue that it was 10 years ago, but still, I remember lots of stories. All right. Wings #1 by April Lynn Pike, which I gave 3 stars. Every book was a mid for me, I guess, as a teenager. I don't know why I gave all these books 3 stars, but I remember loving Wings. I loved the cover, and I dreamt a lot about it. And I even think I wrote like fan fiction about Wings. And let me read you the very short description. Laurel was mesmerized, staring at the pale things with wide eyes. They were terrifyingly beautiful, too beautiful for words. Laurel turned to the mirror again, her eyes on the hovering petals that floated beside her head. They looked almost like wings. In this extraordinary tale of magic and intrigue, romance and danger, everything you thought you knew about fairies will be changed forever. The average rating of Wings is 3.76 stars. Not that many ratings. And honestly, the top ones are all 1 star. What I remember about this book is that this woman has wings. She's a fairy and she's hiding it in this town, and it's just deeply weird. The consensus on this Goodreads rating is that it's just not good. It's not good at all. And I remember liking this book a lot when I was 16, so I'm devastated to know that it does not probably hold up. Oh, the parents are anti-vaxxers in the book. I don't remember that shit. Yeah. Some of these books just would not fly in this day and age. And this was only 10 years ago. This is crazy to me. Fallen, #1 by Lauren Kate. As you can see, I read a lot of series but didn't finish the series. Probably because I couldn't afford to and my parents said no. But I also rated this a whopping 3 stars. And this book is, there's something achingly familiar about Daniel Gregory. Mysterious and aloof, he captures Lou's prized attention from the moment she sees him on her first day at the Sword and Cross boarding school in sultry Savannah, Georgia. He's the one bright spot in a place where cell phones are forbidden, the other students are all screw-ups, and security cameras watch every move. Even though Daniel wants nothing to do with Lou and goes out of his way to make that very clear, she can't let it go. Drawn to him like a moth to a flame, she has to find out what Daniel is so desperate to keep secret, even if it kills her. I'm so sorry, but why were teenage books so dark in 2009? Average rating is 3.72 stars. And again, top reviews are 1 star. I'll read a snippet of this review because it's like a literal essay. First off, I have given this book 0 stars were it possible, but since it isn't, I gave it 1 star. This book is a full of fail, end of story. There is no other way to describe the book, really. That's a lie. There is another way to describe how bad this book is. Take everything that sucked about the Twilight series and multiply that by any number except 0 or 1 or any negative number. Oh crap, you know what I mean. Because really, this book is a bad version of Twilight except with fallen angels instead of vampires. And compared to this book, Twilight is a literary masterpiece. Bro, I remember this book. I remember being so intrigued by it. What was going through my 16-year-old brain? Alrighty, the last one we have is helllllooo #1 by Alexandra Ordinetto. I gave this one 3 stars. But I also remember loving this book at 16. The average Goodreads rating is 3.6. And basically, because I remember it so well, I'll just tell you what I remember. An angel is basically sent to Earth on a mission with other angels, right? It's basically to help the world that's crumbling under darkness. And then she falls in love, and the other angels are trying to help her to not fall in love because that's not part of the mission. And the bond is really strong between this angel and this human. Will love ruin the angel, or will it save her? And the reviews are all 1 stars. Again, the top ones are all 1 stars. Oh, anti-Semitism is rampant in this book. Did not pick up on that at 16 years old. This person says, this has to be one of the worst books ever written. Everything in this book annoyed me. It was terrible in every way, badly thought out plot, hypocritically religious, with with really, and I mean really, shallow characters. Did I mention it's a hypocritical book? I'm not even Catholic, but this book is just so frustrating. I cannot describe it in words. To be honest, it was the Catholic's version of Twilight. I felt like the author copy and pasted Twilight, then changed everyone's name. Cheesy love, stupid damsel in distress, unrealistic boyfriend, and an awkward projection of God and purgatory, heaven, and hell. And there you have it. Those books can give you an idea of what I was reading when I was 15 and 16. And it was all paranormal romance between teenagers that were super problematic, terribly written, and God, how were they published? And obviously, like these aren't badly rated on average. Like they have like 3.5, 3.6. But the top reviews on Goodreads, which the most liked reviews, the most engaged with reviews, are all 1 star. And that is very telling of the books. Now, could I have done a video where I reread the books and then compared them to how I felt when I was a kid? Yes. Do I like wasting my time? No. So I was not going to do that. But I found this to be very fun and entertaining. And I implore you, if you had Goodreads for a long time, go back to those books that you've read when you were young and just read some of the reviews that are more recent even, and just see what people are saying about that book, because a lot of these books do not hold up. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Tell me if you enjoyed this at all. Yeah. Stay good and stay irie.